called DLSS, neural rendering. 1 out of 10 is actually computed. Impossible without artificial intelligence. Impossible.
Before we even talk about neural rendering, let's clear something up. What is rasterization? Because that's been the backbone of graphics for decades. Rasterization is when your GPU takes a 3D object like this wireframe and flattens it into the 2D pixels on your screen. Every game you've ever played uses this process. It's efficient, it's reliable, but it's starting to show its age. It can handle basic shapes and textures easily, but once you pile on shadows, reflections, and realistic lighting, things start to break down. That's the problem. We're asking GPUs to brute force details they were never designed for. And honestly, the cracks are starting to show. Even top-end hardware struggles under pure rasterization, which is why NVIDIA is shifting its entire strategy.
Perfectly. Of course, the technology is called DLSS, neural rendering.
So what's replacing rasterization? NVIDIA calls it neural rendering. Neural rendering is when your GPU doesn't just draw pixels, it predicts them. Instead of brute forcing every calculation, AI fills in missing details, sharpens edges, and even recreate entire frames using trained neural networks. And here's the difference. Rasterization shows you what the GPU can process. Neural rendering shows you what the GPU has learned. This is why DLSS isn't just upscaling. It's not stretching pixels, it's rebuilding them with AI data. Textures, lighting, motion, and even the reflections your GPU didn't actually render. And NVIDIA has been preparing for this for years. Frame generation, ray reconstruction, DLSS super resolution, each one of those was a step away from rasterization and towards a full AI pipeline. Think about it, shadows and lighting were always rasterization's weak point. With AI, your GPU no longer wastes power guessing. The neural network already knows what a realistic shadow or reflection should look like. And that's not just efficiency, that's replacement. Rasterization bends under heavy detail. AI thrives on it.
Impossible without artificial.
This is why NVIDIA is betting the house on AI, because rasterization has a ceiling. Neural rendering doesn't. Here's the truth, rasterization wasn't killed overnight. NVIDIA has been loading this gun, and you just haven't noticed. When DLSS 1 launched, it was embarrassing. Nobody wanted it, the images were soft, the motion was broken. Raster still looks stronger, but NVIDIA never stopped. They kept refining it. DLSS 2 sharpened the blur. DLSS 3 added a massive jump in FPS, and you kept taking it. Why? Free FPS. And that's how NVIDIA got you. They didn't sell AI as the future, they sold it as a convenience, a little boost, a side feature, harmless. But here's the psychology. By the time you got used to free FPS, the shift was already happening. DLSS wasn't an option anymore, it was the main event. Look at the games today. Heavier, more detailed, less optimized. Native rasterization bends under their pressure. And what's the solution staring you right in the face? DLSS, frame generation, AI reconstruction. Think about it. The gun was loaded the whole time. Every patch, every update. NVIDIA wasn't showing off gimmicks. They were quietly training you to accept AI as the fix. And when raster finally started cracking, you didn't question it. You reached for the free FPS. That's the trap. What started as a joke is now the bullet. Rasterization used to bounce those bullets off like Superman, but today, NVIDIA found a kryptonite. And NVIDIA, they're the ones holding the gun. You asked for free FPS, and now it's the very thing killing rasterization. Rasterization has been wounded, but this isn't about graphics technology. This is about the reality that gamers are facing now. Games keep getting heavier, hardware is reaching its limits, and while everyone was focused on raw power, NVIDIA was already moving in silence. The consequences of that shot are here. This is the aftermath. Look around at today's games. They're gorgeous on the surface, but under the hood, they're bleeding. Rasterization is struggling, and optimization is not what it used to be. Studios no longer spend months squeezing out every ounce of performance. They don't need to. AI and neural rendering can patch the cracks, and that saves them time, money, and frankly, labor. And that's the reality. fewer workers fine-tuning details, and fewer assets built from scratch, and more reliance on networks that fill in the gap. It feels more advanced, but also like something's lost. And the cost is shifted. We pay higher prices for games that requires AI to even run smoothly, and only the top hardware gets the full experience. Everyone else is left with the scraps. This isn't a technical shift. This is the industry rewriting its rules. Rasterization isn't leading anymore. It's bleeding out. Rasterization won't vanish tomorrow. It's in every engine, every game we play. But the truth is, it's no longer in charge. That shot was already fired, and newer rendering is what's left standing. Newer rendering doesn't just patch cracks, it rebuilds the entire frame, and once you've seen the difference, there's no going back. We used to argue about teraflops, VRAM, shaders, but when AI decides what's on your screen, that argument doesn't really matter anymore. NVIDIA changed the battlefield, and they made sure they were the ones that were armed. Rasterization built the industry, but AI is taking over. The only question now is how long we'll hold on before we accept it. And if you want to see where this goes next, make sure you like the video and subscribe. This is only the beginning. But if you're here to stay, make sure you get used to hearing this, because I do the research so you don't have to.